fulfill requests. So this is important. No one should go to the grave of anyone and ask for anything with the belief that they're going to be able to fulfill that request, because they cannot hear in the sense of responding and fulfilling a request. Now, that brings us to the question though, okay, but do they hear what is said and done outside of what? Al-Barzakh. So we said they can hear within. They can respond verbally within. Can they hear without and respond without? So I want to mention some of the narrations that Ibn al-Qayyim, he mentioned in his book Ar-Ruh, where he indicates that they can hear outside, without, even though they're unable to respond practically. So the first one is that the Prophet ﷺ, he was reported to have said, and this athar, or this hadith, has been authenticated by a number of the early scholars. He said, "Ma min Muslimin yamurru biqabri akhihi kana ya'rifuhu fi dunya fayusallimu alayhi illa radda Allahu alayhi ruhahu hatta yurudda alayhi as-salam." He said that there is not a single Muslim who passes by the grave of his brother who he knew in this world, brother or sister, who he knew or who she knew in this world. فَيُسَلِّمْ عَلَيْهِ, and he greets them with what? With as-salam. As-salam, as-salamu alayka. إِلَّا رَدَّ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ رُوحَهُ, except Allah will return his soul to his body, حَتَّى يَرُدَّ عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامُ, so that he can what? Respond. So that he can respond. Hear and respond. Respond what? Verbally. Not in the sense of fulfilling a request, but what? Respond verbally. Will we hear the response? No. But Allah will make it so that he responds. We also have the hadith of Bukhari and Muslim from a number of the Prophet's companions, which talks about how the Prophet ﷺ spoke to Qatla Badr, the people who were killed in the battle of Badr. And they were thrown into Qalib. They were thrown to like this area known as Qalib. And then the Prophet ﷺ, he went to a small, like mini mountain, and he called out to them. And he called them by their names. Ya Fulan ibn Fulan, Ya Fulan ibn Fulan. He called them by their names. Oh, so-and-so, the son of so-and-so. Oh, so-and-so, the son of so-and-so. And they had been killed what? At Badr. هل وجدتم ما وعدكم ربكم حقا? Did you find what your Lord promised you to be true? فإني وجدت ما وعدني ربي حقا. For indeed, I found what my Lord promised me to be true. فقال له Umar al-Khattab, he said to him, he said, Ya Rasulullah, ما تخاطب من أقوام قد جيفوا? He said, are you really talking to people who they're dead and gone? So the Prophet responded and he said, وَالَّذِي بَعَثَنِي بِالْحَقِّ مَا أَنْتُمْ بِأَسْمَعْ لِمَا أَقُولُ مِنْهُمْ وَلَكِنَّهُمْ لَا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ جَوَابًا. He said, by the one who has appointed me with truth, you, my companions who are alive and standing with me, next to me, cannot hear me more than they can hear me. But unfortunately, but he said, but they are unable to what? To respond. And meaning respond in a way that we can what? That we can hear. وَثَبَتَ عَنْهُ, it's also been authentically narrated from the Prophet, something that he said, أَنَّ الْمَيِّتْ يَسْمَعُ قَرَعَ نِعَالِ الْمُشَيِّعِينَ لَهُ إِذَا انصَرَفُوا عَنْهُ. That the Prophet, we mentioned this previously, that the Prophet has narrated, it's been authentically narrated from the Prophet, that the person who is deceased in his grave will hear what? He will hear the pitter-patter or the stepping of the feet as they what? As the people who brought his body to the grave, as they depart after burying him, he hears what? He hears their footsteps. He also mentioned, he said, قَدْ شَرَعَ النَّبِيُّ صلى الله عليه وسلم لِأُمَّتِهِ إِذَا سَلَّمُوا عَلَى أَهْلِ الْقُبُورِ. The Prophet ﷺ has legislated or prescribed for his ummah that when they visit a grave and يُسَلِّمُ عَلَيْهِمْ سَلَامٌ مَنْ يُخَاطِبُونَهُ. He said that they should give the greeting of peace, the same greeting that you give to someone you're what? You're addressing directly. فَيَقُولُ الْمُسْلِمُ, so the Muslim should say, السلام عليكم دار قوم مؤمنين. Right? So you say, peace be upon you, residents, or, residents who are believers, or believing residents of what? Of the grave. So he used all of these examples, and he says that basically it's nonsensical that you would address them if they cannot what? If they cannot hear you. This was his argument. So these are all indications that what? That the deceased, they hear, but they hear in a way that they cannot respond except what? Verbally. And even when they respond verbally, they can't what? We cannot what? We cannot hear them. And this is critical because that means that when you go to the grave, what you say to the deceased should not exceed what? As-salam. And a person should not what? Begin to have a conversation with the deceased. Or even worse, have a conversation that includes a request. Have a conversation with the deceased that includes a request, as if you believe that they can answer what? They can answer your prayers or fulfill your needs, etc. I want to mention a few last things before we close, and that is the residence of the souls. Because you read a lot of the hadith and you may find them confusing where it says, for example, the souls of these people are here, the souls of these people are there. You say, well, I thought everybody was in al-barzakh. But we have to understand that in al-barzakh, the soul can be separated from the body, and the soul can do what? Can reside in different places while still being, as we said, having a connection to the body that we can't fully what? Articulate or understand. So the souls reside in different places while they are in al-hayat al-barzakhiyah. So one of the residences of the souls, or the places of residence of the souls, is the peak of Illiyin, in the company of the highest angelic assembly, al-Mala' al-A'la. And these are the souls of the prophets, and they themselves, the prophets, are on varying degrees, and the highest of them is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this explains why when the Prophet ﷺ did his mi'raj, when he ascended to the heavens, as he would go through the heavens, he would see what? He would see this prophet. He would see that prophet. And you say, okay, why did he see the prophet if they're in al-barzakh? Because why? Their souls, the residents of the souls of the prophets are what? Are in the heavens. You guys see that? And that's how he saw these prophets in these different heavens. You guys see that? The second residence of some of the souls is in the stomachs of green birds which fly uninhibited in paradise. In the stomachs of green birds flying around uninhibited in paradise. And these are the souls of a shuhada. So again, their bodies may be